In this lesson we're going to look at just putting some bass down. Now as you can see, I've kind of developed this a lot further, and I'm just going to keep doing this. And this is what happens with productions, is you start with an idea, it's sometimes a bit naff, you develop it, you get rid of things, you kind of just keep looking at different possibilities. And it's the good thing about using this kind of workflow is it's endless and you're not restricted by anything. Okay, so here we go. I've created a bass part, same as before. We've just pressed this little plus button. We've done a software instrument and we've pressed create. From here I've just renamed it bass, and then I've created an empty container. Now it's up to you. If you've got a MIDI keyboard and you want to play the bass part in, that's absolutely fine. With a MIDI container, just right click as said previously and create new empty MIDI region. Now you can extend this just by using the bottom handles, and I like to make mine the same loop phrase as the chords. Once you've got that 4-bar loop or whatever, you can then double click on it, okay? And then you can start inputting your notes. On Logic 9, just press escape and you'll come up with this tool palette, and then you can go in with your pencil. Now let me just get rid of this a sec, and let's undo this because I don't need this. As you can see, I've already started mine. Now as said in the previous lesson, we're using the key signature of D minor. And I've decided that my chords are going to be 1 bar of D minor, 1 bar of F, 1 bar of C major, and 1 bar of another bar of C major. So with that in mind, how I start my bass pattern is I use the root notes. So for instance, if I come into here, this is the beginning phrase. So I use the root notes of each chord. So as you can see here, this first bar, I've used the root note D. The second bar, I've used the root note F. This third bar, I've used the root note C, and then again I've used the root note C. And that's how I kind of start. So that's the first thing, is making sure you're in the right key for that particular chord. And using the root notes means you're gonna hit that every single time. After that, you start building up your rhythm. Now where the rhythm comes from is the drum pattern. I don't have drums here, but if we come onto this bit, and we can say, okay, what's my kind of pattern here? I could go 4 to the floor, so I could go D, 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 and then F, 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 and so on. And that would sound absolutely fine, and it would lock in with the ultra beat. And I would definitely say try that, try other things. So how I've come up with this particular pattern is I started off, and let me just show you so you can see. So okay, I started on, what have I got here? I started on D2. I'm just going to draw this in a octave below. So I started on D1 and I drew that out for a whole bar, and then I go to the F and I drew that out for a whole bar, and then we come down to the C, and then we've got a C again. And if I was to play that, let me just move that. If I was to play that, I'd just take 4 long notes, and I can show you this. Let me just select these and I'll just mute these ones just so you can see what I've got so far, and we'll work through the process together. So here we go, here's my notes. Let me just put a loop up. If you want to loop things, this little yellow bar here, you can just drag it out, okay? So we'll just start here. So here it is. Okay, so that's pretty uninteresting. Now what I did after that is if I zoom out again just a little bit further, just so I can see the grid positions a bit better. And we'll start with this first bar. Now if you press escape, or if you're on Logic X, just come down to the scissor tools this time. And we're going to do that 4 to the floor thing. So we're just going to cut it on each of the beats, just so you get the idea of what it would sound like if we were following the bass drum completely. And just take me a couple of seconds just to cut the rest of these up. So now we've got this 4 to the floor pattern. We'll just play that one more time just so you can hear what that sounds like. And if you wanted to make that sound a little bit better, we can actually shorten the notes. Because they're so long, they kind of just drag into each of the other notes. So we'll just select all of them, and we'll grab one of the end handles and we'll just shorten it by, say, half. And we'll still get the same pattern, but it'll be slightly more staccato. that works absolutely fine. You can see that's a similar pattern to what I've got here anyway, apart from rather than putting this one in, I've just deleted that one and then dragged this one out a little bit longer. I've also got these extra notes. Now where these extra notes come from is the fifth of the chord. So in this instance we've got the F major chord. So the third of the F major chord is the A and the fifth is the C, and that's when you play all three notes together. So all I've taken is that C and I've dropped it an octave. And it's the same for this C here. The fifth of a C is a G, and I've just added this. And I've just played around with the pattern using that process. So come up with your own on that one. Then the only thing I've done other than that is as this builds, I've changed the pattern again, and I've also doubled it up. So you can see I've got two parts selected here, and they're an octave apart. So this one here is playing the C2, and this one here is playing the C3. And that's pretty much the only difference, okay? And it just fattens out that bass. Once it gets to that section, it just goes, whoa. So have a go at putting your bass parts in. Before I sign off, I'm just going to play this to show you where I'm at so far. And then in the next lesson, we'll start just adding some final touches. See you then. Now, here we go. So as you can see, it's starting to develop, it's starting to sound quite nice. Okay, I'll see you in the next lesson.